Good morning.
Good morning.
It's day 3 on our Yellowstone backcountry adventure. Jim will summarize where we're at now.
Well, it rained all night, pouring rain. Well, it rained all day yesterday, pouring rain. Rained all night, pouring steady rain. And we discovered that our raincoats are no longer waterproof. So we got here kind of wet, had to set up in the rain and listen to it rain all night. So a lot of people, obviously think, oh, the big danger is bears, and they're certainly dangerous, and you have to take precautions about bears, but mostly there's nothing to worry about if you do things right. The big thing you have to worry about is hypothermia, especially in weather like this. It's between 40 and 50 degrees, cold, wet rain, and how important it is to stay dry. So our tent did really well, but you could tell it was starting to get overwhelmed by just the volume of the rain on the rainfly.
And on this trip, we brought our Big Agnes copper spur, and it has been awesome, we must say.
It has. It did
and
really,
Big Agnes
really well.
is not paying us to endorse it.
No, they're not. But it did great. It's just more rain is coming, and we haven't gone down to the river crossing yet, but I can imagine it's very high and unpassable at this point.
So what we're trying to figure out is it's unlikely that we should, even if that river crossing is passable, we probably shouldn't do it because we have several more days and then a lot more rain, and then we will have trouble getting back. So we're probably gonna start heading back, most likely.
And on top of that, we don't want to get things wet any more than they are. It's very difficult to get warm again.
So that's it for now. We'll keep you updated, but it's no longer well, we still are concerned about bears, but the greater concern is the weather.
Staying warm and dry.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
A continuation of day 3, we made our decision, and Jim.
And we got up and looked at the forecast thanks to our Garmin
Mini 2,
which solves everything. It
which
gives us
solves
the weather
everything,
forecast.
yes.
So the weather forecast was it's going to clear off a little bit this afternoon, but then start raining again and get down to about 30 degrees.
And snow.
And so we decided, we looked at the rivers. It's been raining for 48 hours, pretty much nonstop. And even the small stream near our campsite is roaring and probably waist deep. And that's before we even get to our major crossings. Our original schedule had us at a campsite that would have required 5 stream crossings. And we decided no, they're probably unpassable, dangerous, and because it's been raining for 48 hours, it's very difficult to keep things dry. It's hypothermia.
Yes, so we're on the trail already. Well, not already because it's almost like 10:45. But let me just show you what it looks like. So beautiful area here, and really great to be able to hike a little bit without rain, because honestly, so far our hike here in Yellowstone has been in the rain. We've tried to keep a good tune about it, but that kind of messes things up. It's gorgeous though. All right, so we're gonna keep on hiking. I'll show you a little bit more down the road here. There has been lots of poop here, but it's mostly buffalo poop. We haven't seen a lot of bear poop. Mostly buffalo, but buffalo pies everywhere. And then this is pretty swampy, so we just have to get our feet wet, I suppose. Which they already are very wet. this is the sagebrush that's everywhere. And it is so cool. It smells great. And it's like the predominant vegetation out here. It's everywhere. It smells like you're getting ready to stuff a turkey. That's the only time I use sage. And these buffalo, what are these, Jim? These
Probably elk antlers.
elk antlers. So we're feeling good about our decision because this is the Hellroaring River currently, which was much different when we first started. But given what's happened in the last 48 hours, it's overflowing. So I think we made a good choice. There's another view of the Hellroaring River and the overflow from the rains last night. And it's starting to clear. Beautiful. Here's some more damage from the overflow of the Hellroaring. This is the patrol cabin that we walked past yesterday, and it was beautiful, and now the river has gone over the banks.
Buffalo over there.
Hi everyone!
Hi.
It's day 4 of our Yellowstone backcountry adventure, and sadly we are off trail. We came off yesterday on day 3, got off trail around 4 o'clock, and definitely a test of critical thinking. We went through a lot of different experiences. Jim's gonna show you on the map exactly what happened and how we figured it out. All right, stay tuned.
So as Shelly explained, we had to come off early due to the record rainfall and flooding at Yellowstone. We spent 2 days out there. We made it to this campsite on day 2, which is 1R3 Little Cottonwood Creek on the second day. And the entire time we were out there was a steady pouring rain. So it was very difficult to stay dry and warm, not get hypothermia. But we stayed there 1R3 the second night. And in the morning, there was a stream near 1R3 that fed into Little Cottonwood Creek. And we wanted to go at least see what Little Cottonwood Creek looked like. We knew it's probably impassable, but we wanted to go see it. But there was a small feeder stream near the campsite that was at least waist deep. And we figured, no, that tells us enough information that if the feeder stream's waist deep, Little Cottonwood Creek is probably completely out of control, let alone all the other ones we would have to cross that day. And we also had concerns, it's super cold, with maybe a hypothermia risk. So, and at the time we had no idea the flooding was so bad. So we packed up and decided we would exit. Came back the route we took in, and noticed on the way out that many of these campsites along the Hellroaring River were completely wiped out. Looked like the flood waters had come into the campsites. It took out trees that supported food poles. The Hellroaring cabin had been flooded. It's still there, but had been the waters came 3 or 4 feet into the cabins. Lots and lots of trees flowing downstream, and we were a little worried about this suspension bridge, or not the suspension bridge, but the footbridge over the Hellroaring. That wondered if it was still there or not, which is located just nearby the cabin. Luckily, it was still there, but there were trees jammed up against it. It was obvious the water had gone over the river during the night, or the water had gone on over the bridge during the night, and it was rather remarkable it was still intact. But we got over that. Noticed on the way back down the parallel side of the eastern bank of the Hellroaring, number of these other campsites that were located here were also kind of taken out. We're hopeful that no one was sleeping there in any of these campsites in this valley, because it would have been very dangerous. You can't hear anything at night except the river roaring, which it does all the time. And the only notice you would get is water suddenly coming into your tent, which is rather late. So we're hoping no one was hurt or killed with the water sweeping them away during the night. We were very lucky that we were at this campsite at that night because it was up on high ground. There was no danger of us flooding out. So we backtracked. We got over the bridge. We backtracked back the way we came, made it to the Yellowstone suspension bridge, which is so high that floodwaters aren't going to take that out. And when we arrived there were some park employees on the other side that told us the park had been closed. They were evacuating people, and that we needed to pack up and head out through West Yellowstone because the northern entrance was closed due to flooding and roads that were wiped out. So that was our adventure. We were very fortunate. We're certain we didn't go up to our first campsite again to check it out, but this is a narrow valley. I'm almost certain, though, that campsite probably went underwater, and so we were very lucky. Random chance that we were assigned this campsite on that particular day that was up high, that probably kept us safe. So, okay.